Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Farm Life here, and today I'm going to be painting another round off of this Ford 4610. So we got a shield here that goes around the alternator on the side of the tractor, battery tray, fan, fuel tank, toolbox, tie rod, various pieces, parts. These big pieces here are for the fenders, front rims, rear wheel weights, some bolts and nuts that need to be colored, and the rear wheels. So the parts that are gray now that you see are gray, they're not painted or anything, they're just sandblasted. That works best on the bigger stuff that you want to look really clean. So I'm waiting for my paint to settle at the moment, and then I'm gonna get it gray. All right, so we've got the gray epoxy primer on all these parts here. Next thing to do is to get white paint on this part. This part here, these are fender brackets, which the fender itself bolts onto. Down here it bolts onto the axle. The back wheel rims, the front wheel rims, the cast iron rear wheel weights, and some hardware here. These nuts and washers are to hold the weights on. Same with those carriage bolts there. And the reason the head is cut flat right there on the one side is where it sits on the rim. You can kind of see how that one's got a notch. That's where that head of that carriage bolt sits. And this that I've got on the tires here is actually tire soap, and that is to keep the paint from sticking to the rubber. So once I get all the paint on these and they dry, take them out, power wash all the soap off, and it should take the paint right off with it. That's stuck to the grease. So, and this is what I did to get both sides of the tire. I just put a stick of wood between the tire and the wall and leaned the tire up so I didn't have to flip them back and forth, because it wouldn't be as big of a deal if the tires weren't loaded, but these things are loaded right full with calcium, so they are very, very heavy and they're not easy to move alone. So that's what I did, so I didn't have to roll them around constantly or spin them around, which is, it's difficult to spin around. So yeah, time to get some white paint on some of these parts. The rest of these parts here that I have primed, this toolbox is going to be gloss black. Fuel tank, battery tray, most of the other parts are going to be blue. That fan there for the front of the engine is going to be black. But it was easy, since I had all the parts out, just to prime them all, and then we can do the colors later. So when we come back, rims, weights will be white.